Good morning, class. You all look lovely today, especially you, Sarah. I appreciate the cardigan. My name is Anthony Mcculloch-Howard, and I'm going to be presenting to you guys about the epidemic that has spread through our nation known as vaping. What is vaping? Vaping is the use of electronic nicotine delivery service products, which were introduced in the mid 2000s as a safer alternative to cigarettes. These came in right after big tobacco had continuously fallen for decades on end, um, and the smoking epidemic was nearly over. However, as you can see, over the past 8 years, vaping has gone on the rise so much that there's been a new epidemic declared by the CDC as of August 2019, declaring a national crisis of e-cigarette use. Who's actually using these devices? So while vaping has been marketed as a device, an opportunity to help former smokers quit, it's actually being used more and more by a younger demographic that has never smoked cigarettes in their life. As you saw, there are more students currently who have tried e-cigarettes in the past 30 days than those who have tried cigarettes in their lifetime. E-cigarettes have become more popular among high school students, with 20% reporting that they have vaped in the last month, and according to a study, 11.7% of 12th graders are smoking through an ENDS device on a daily basis. So these are not actually being used by their marketed audience, those trying to quit smoking. Now, what are the dangers? Why is this a problem? Well, the first issue is all of the respiratory damage. Vaping has been linked to burns in the respiratory tract as well as lipid accumulation in the lungs. These lipids are inhaled in aerosol form and then accumulate in the alveoli of the lungs, which can cause respiratory distress and all kinds of other problems. In addition, VALI, V-A-L-I, vaping associated lung injury, has become an issue lately, with over 2,500 cases of hospitalizations related to VALI and 68 dead as of February 2020. The flavorings also have their own danger, even in nicotine-free vapes, as they are safe to ingest normally, but when they're used as aerosols, they become highly irritable to the lungs. The biggest issue they present is their increase of a user's cancer risk. Those who vape frequently are inhaling heavy metals such as aldehydes, and that has been proven linked to the development of cancer. Many of the products in vapes are oncogens, meaning that when they're inhaled, they can create cancer-causing cells. And there has been a strong association determined between the use of e-cigarettes and an increased risk of lung cancer. While the research is still incomplete, these findings are dangerous, especially for the younger audience that's currently using these devices. So who are they really selling to? They're marketed as, or they say that they're marketing towards older people who are trying to quit smoking cigarettes. They being the large companies that are creating these e-cigarettes and vape products. However, it has been proven on multiple occasions that Juul has centered, one of the biggest companies, has centered their advertising campaign on children on multiple occasions, trying to locate or acquire advertisements on Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network websites, as well as Club 17, and following an old Marlboro ad campaign trying to sell to teenagers. So they're not really marketing to the older demographic that's trying to quit smoking. They're looking to hook an entire new generation on nicotine. $125 million was spent on advertising in 2014. The numbers have grown exponentially, but they aren't exact over the past 7 years. And supposedly the market on e-cigarettes and ENDS devices is going to eclipse $65 billion by the year 2027. This is a booming market, and it has nothing to do with quitting smoking at the moment, at least in the US. So are vapes all bad? Should we just ban them forever? Should we get rid of them and take them off the market? The answer is not quite. Vapes aren't all bad. Research is still being conducted on the actual long-term effects of e-cigarettes, and how they compare to those of cigarettes. And according to The Economist, they are still 95% safer than traditional cigarettes and the thousands of chemicals that are contained in them. They've been proven to help people quit, and research is currently showing that there may be certain chemicals not present in e-cigarettes that are present in cigarettes that make them much easier to quit than the traditional form. So these could still be a useful tool for quitting cigarettes if there are some major changes made. The possible solution here, the obvious solution here, is regulation, whether by the government or private. Government regulation in countries like Austria and Belgium has already worked wonders. They have lower teen usage rates, and they have much stricter regulation by the government on not only the production of them, which controls whether or not vitamin E, acetate, and other dangerous products can go in the juices and in the e-cigarettes, but it also controls how they're marketed. It requires that they are advertised and geared towards those trying to quit smoking, so that it doesn't become an epidemic like it is in America. There's a lot we can learn from this, and I think that if we impose some regulation on the production and sale and marketing of these e-cigarette devices, they really could accomplish their supposed goal, rather than hooking an entire new generation on the nicotine addiction that we had almost beaten in the early 2000s.